And the first conclusion is usually I need rest. And sometimes that's true. Sometimes you genuinely need sleep. You need a break, you need time away. But a lot of time, the exhaustion is deeper than that.
Hey guys, welcome to the Advantage podcast with KMR. I am KMR. Well, my name is Rejoice Azuka Owuseba, but everyone calls me KMR, Kingmaker Rejoice. And this is one podcast where we have conversations where you think, where you come out of your comfort zone and you confront those limiting beliefs and limiting behaviors and limiting patterns that you ordinarily would not confront. I look forward to you growing and becoming through this podcast.
Hi there, welcome back to another episode of the Advantage podcast. I want to start with something that may seem a little too honest. But a lot of people are tired, and I don't mean physically tired. They're mentally tired, they're emotionally tired, they're tired inside of them. And the first conclusion is usually I need rest. And sometimes that's true. Sometimes you genuinely need sleep. You need a break, you need time away. But a lot of time, the exhaustion is deeper than that. Because some people rest and still feel tired. Has that happened to you before? That you take some time off, you slow down for some days, you disconnect for a while, but the heaviness is actually still there. Why? Because not all burnout comes from doing too much. Sometimes it comes from thinking wrongly for too long. Let's slow that down because the way you think determines and affects how you live. If your thinking is constantly driven by pressure, by urgency, by fear, by comparison, by unrealistic expectations, your mind never actually settles, even when your body stops moving. And that kind of internal pressure is something that drains people quietly. So on the outside, you look functional. You're still working, you're still showing up, you're still handling responsibilities. But inside you, everything is heavy. Simple things feel difficult, small things feel exhausting, and rest is not as refreshing as it actually used to be. And so a lot of times we just think, oh, I just need to escape for a while. But if your thinking pattern stays the same, your exhaustion will return as quick as it left you. Because you can leave an environment and still carry the pressure of the environment with you. A perfect example would be someone who wakes up already anxious. Before the day begins, their mind is racing. There's things to do, there's things not done, there's things that they need to have achieved already. Then your entire day just becomes this cycle of trying to catch up. And so, even normal tasks, simple tasks, become emotionally loaded. Now, imagine living like that every day. Eventually, your body is going to slow down because your mind is not slowing down. Or someone ties their worth to productivity. So every moment needs to be useful. If you rest, you feel guilty. If you slow down, you feel behind. So even times when you're supposed to recover now feels stressful because you're not just physically resting, you're physically resting but mentally working. And that's not real rest. Not at all. In fact, this is where many of us misunderstand burnout. Because burnout is not always about the activity. Burnout is sometimes about the internal pressure that never switches off. So you keep feeling like, oh, I should be doing more, I should be further ahead, I should have figured things out already. And over time, your nervous system never relaxes. You're constantly on, you're always carrying something mentally. And so some of us are not exhausted because of responsibility. We're exhausted by the things we have to carry emotionally. We're exhausted because every delay feels like failure. Every setback, you take it personal. Every decision feels like you're choosing the next president of the world. We have a way where we make everything feel so big. And that kind of thinking has a way of draining us. No one has ever been designed to panic through life. But many of us live under that pressure, under that mental noise, under that constant pressure. And so, even when things are not happening, we still feel the overwhelm. We still carry the weight. And that's not because responsibility left, but because you now realize that, okay, life still requires effort. Like, you need to work hard. You need to consistently carry things and not panic internally. So some of us don't need a completely different life. We need a completely different relationship with life. So stop working from fear, from pressure, from proving yourself. Start approaching life from a place of steadiness, from a place of responsibility, from a place of intention. There are two different experiences. It's the same work, but it's a different internal experience. One is draining you, the other is sustaining you. Another reason people burn out is because we never pause long enough to process life. You're always moving, task after task, week after week. There's no reflection, there's no mental reset. Eventually, everything just piles up. There's unprocessed frustrations, there's unspoken disappointments, there's mental exhaustion. And because you never slowed down emotionally, your body forces you to pause. And this is why slowing down intentionally matters. Because sometimes you need to sit with yourself long enough to ask, what is draining me? Not just what am I doing, but what am I carrying every day that is draining me? Because some exhaustion is not from overload, but it's from the mental weight behind it. So pay attention to the thoughts that follow you daily. Are they constantly negative? Are they pressured? Are they fearful? Are they self critical? Repeated thoughts can set up emotional environments, and emotional environments have a way of affecting your life. So you can't think in panic all day and expect peace at night. It doesn't work that way. It doesn't mean that life will become easy overnight, but awareness changes things. So once you start noticing the patterns, you can start adjusting them. You can start questioning pressure. You can start setting the right expectations so that your life becomes calmer and you can make better decisions that way. So, before we go today, I need you to sit with this and sit with it honestly and ask yourself, am I tired because of what I'm doing? Or am I tired of how I think that I'm doing it? Am I tired because of the way I'm thinking while I'm doing it? I need you to take your time with that question because the answer can really explain more than you realize. You need to learn how to live without carrying unnecessary weight. I'll see you next time. Bye for now, everybody.